Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and download the app at the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You won't regret it. The lineup optimizer, the chat, the values tool, the stack finder, all kinds of great stuff in the palm of your hand on their app. It is great, great stuff. What else is great? I'm on Twitter at Hendricks, and the great part about this is my co-host on Twitter at Bogman Sports, who got a home run tonight. So go check out Scott Bogman. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. My crystal ball is polished up and ready to go for today. I'm very excited about my JD Martinez bomb. You know, he may have hit it late, but it's always on time.
It all counts.
When you win someone some stuff. So love to see it. Interesting day. Your Giants scored 19 runs. Tyler Mahle looked like trash. So that is how I woke up to the day. I actually woke up to the wood chipper from the maintenance people right outside the window of my place at 7 a.m. 7:01, because the noise ordinance starts at 7 was when they started firing stuff into that thing. So that was really helpful for me. I'm definitely not exhausted right now, but great day, and good day to get a home run. So let's get another one today, Bob. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I'm back-to-back days now. I told you when you took Freddie Freeman, you're good, because I took the day before and he went deep. I said on yesterday's show, make sure you guys play Kyle Schwarber. He went deep his first at-bat today. So tomorrow I'll take Xander Bogaerts, everybody. Just keep that one in mind. It's uncanny, the system right now, but it's great stuff. You mentioned the Giants putting up 19. The Rays went bananas. Joey Wendell had 2 dongs. Arozarena stays hot, so that'll be interesting. The evening slate, the Dunedin Coors South just continues to just turn in runs. It's wild stuff. So it was overall some good baseball. William Contreras went deep, my boy, so that was fun. But overall, we knew pitching was going to be rough. Like Dane Dunning was the top pitcher on the early slate. That just kind of sums it up for you, folks.
They just never let him go deep, and then today he was great.
Well, he went 6, but he still only threw 79 pitches.
Yeah. But going
and then their
6,
bullpen blew it. Oh, yeah, we'll take it for sure. But then their bullpen blew it. So it's one of those, like, you got to let them throw 100 one of these days. Like, what are you going to do? But we'll see. Maybe next time out. Well, I'll take him next time. He'll throw 3 innings on 45 pitches. So, that's the way the baseball season's going. Just going to throw it out there.
At least you don't sound bitter at all. So that's good.
No, I'm good. I had Dunning in all 3 of my lineups. I said, screw it. I'm going YOLO. Two out of 3 cashed. It was great. So we're just going to – and then, like I said, I took my own advice, took the evening off. Like, just don't even bother with it. And I'm so glad I did, because it's been full tilt on this. So lots of stuff there. We can keep hashing it out, but we're not going to, because, folks, it's happened. It's May 21st when you're listening to this, and we have our first 15-game slate of the season. Just all 30 teams starting at 7:05 Eastern or later. So this is when you get just pure chaos on a slate, because especially when you see the pricing. The pricing is for the pitching. Interesting, folks. Decisions will have to be made. Some sacrifices will be made. So it's going to be fun. Looking at the weather, really no rain, it looks like, for now, which is great. The one thing that really stinks is
Did you knock on wood? You better knock on wood. There you go.
And the one really crazy thing is the wind is blowing out in a few stadiums, but the one that's the worst is Coors Field. So have fun with that. So, yeah, that'll be a popular place to attack. But let's get started. 15 games, Bogman. We start out with the Boston Red Sox at the Philadelphia Phillies. A little interleague play. Martin Perez versus Aaron Nola. Over under 8.5 on this one. Perez is 9,400 on DK. He's 69 on FanDuel. He's been good lately, don't get me wrong, but 94 is a little nuts. Nola's 11.6 on DK, and he's 9,000 on FanDuel. I like that FanDuel price on Nola a lot better, but both of these are some pretty tough price tags, Bogman.
Yeah, but Nola, 5 of 6. 5 of his last 6 have been quality. He's one of the best options on the table here. Boston been hitting a little bit recently, though, so I don't know, but I'm definitely a fan of Nola today. Martin Perez is not the worst option either, giving up 2 or fewer in his last 5 starts. Just not enough strikeout upside on a 15-game slate, as you mentioned. So I think Nola is a good option if you want some PVB data in this game. There is some. Kutch 5 for 12 off of Perez in his career with 2 doubles. Brad Miller 4 for 13 off of Perez with a double. 3 for 6 for Kike with 2 homers off of Nola. That's interesting. Renfroe 5 for 9 with 2 doubles. 2 for 5 for Vasquez with 2 doubles. And then there's just a lot of hot hitters on both sides here, especially Boston side. Allbeck has been good. We just saw JD go yard. Bogarts didn't go yard, but he had a good day.
He will tonight.
Then Devers, Verdugo, Nick Maton, Odubel Herrera has a 9-game hit streak. Reese Hoskins just hit career homer, or I think it's either he just hit it or his next one is going to be career homer number 100 for Hoskins too. So I watched a little bit of that game today. But yeah, a lot of good bats on this slate.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I respect both pitchers. If you want to attack Perez, I get it, but on a 15-game slate, I think I was going to pass on this game. I really do like Nola at his 9K FanDuel price. I think that's an outstanding price tag on FanDuel. 11.6 on DK is a little trickier for me, but 9K on FanDuel, big fan of that. I probably won't have any Martin Perez, and we'll see how that one goes. Baltimore at the Washington Nationals. We have no total on this one, unfortunately, but we do have an interesting situation on our hands. We have Pablo Lopez. He's 54 on DK, 6,000 on FanDuel, and we potentially have the return of Steven Strasburg.
That's Jorge Lopez, by the way.
Oh, sorry, Jorge Lopez. Yeah, Pablo
Lopez
on
is also on this slate.
Oh, there we go. So Strasburg is back, though. 8,300 on DK, not priced on FanDuel yet. I don't know how long he'll go. I don't know if he'll get injured again. I have no idea. But this seems like a game that could be interesting from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna mess with the pitching here. You know, I respect Steven Strasburg, but I mean, come on, man. You first start off the IL. This dude's constantly hurt. I'm not going to mess with him in his first game back. Jorge Lopez has 0 quality starts this year. So on this slate, you're just going to find better pitching elsewhere. There's also not a ton of hitting to love here. Not a lot of PVB data. In fact, none really that I am even interested in to talk about. So it's just the guys that have been hot. You know, Mancini and DJ Stewart have been pretty good for Baltimore. On the Washington side, it's the expensive guys. It's Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber you have to pay up for now at 44 and 35. Josh Bell is probably your best price in this game at 36 and 35. And then Yan Gomes, 4,300 and 2,900. So I don't love this game. This is not one I'm going to be watching incessantly tonight.
Yeah, and don't forget Soto. Keep going back to Soto on that one. I do like a potential Washington stack versus Lopez. Probably not the best one on the slate, but I do like tackling Jorge Lopez. And with the no DH, they might pinch it for him sooner to get that wonderful Baltimore bullpen. So something to keep in mind there. The Chicago White Sox at the New York Yankees. Battle of left-handed pitchers here in Carlos Rodon and Jordan Montgomery. Over under 8.5 on this one. You got Rodon's 9,900 on DK, 10.4 on FanDuel. Montgomery 81 on DK, only 66 on FanDuel. The White Sox destroy left-handed pitching, but Joe Mon's been good. And then Rodon's been good, but it's the Yankees. This is a tricky. I don't think I'm going to have either pitcher.
I mean, Montgomery, 2 quality starts in a row before giving up 5 in 3 innings his last time out. I'm going to pass on him. Rodon has been great this season. Probably a no against the Yankees, like you said. But I like him as kind of the expensive contrarian play if you wanted to go that way. You wanted a good pitcher with upside that probably isn't going to be high owned. I like him. There is a little PVB data against him. Torres is 2 for 4 with a bomb. Then Ronald Odor is 4 for 10 with a double. So both high batting averages. But there hasn't been a lot of hotness on the Yankees side as far as the bats go anyway. Judge is good, and Tyler Wade has been pretty good as a cheap option. Other than that, not a ton on the White Sox side either. Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Lori Garcia are pretty good options here, but there's not a ton to love from this game either.
Yeah, I always love Tim Anderson versus a lefty. You got guys like Abreu and Yermin Mercedes is intriguing. So there's some guys I don't mind, and Andrew Vaughn loves facing lefties, so he'll be really, really cheap. So there's a couple options there. It might not be full stack worthy because I still respect Jomo, but at the same time, that could be one of those that pops off extremely, or not maybe extremely, but some nice low ownership. Let's put it that way. All right, now this is a game where you might want some bats. We'll see. Milwaukee against Cincinnati, Adrian Hauser, Jeff Hoffman, Great American Small Park. Over under of 9 on this one. You got 2 just mediocre pitchers. Hauser is a $7,900 on DK65 on FanDuel. Hoffman 51 on DK61 on FanDuel. I don't want either pitcher box.
Yeah, it's going to be no from me, dog. I'm going to pass. This is a stack against Hauser game. Winker, I mean, there's a lot of good PVB data here. Winker 5 for 10 with 3 homers against Hauser. 5 for 11 for Suarez with 2 dongs. 4 for 11 for Castellanos with a homer. And then there's some hot hitters on the Cincinnati side too. India's been hot. Shogo is free if he's in the lineup, 2,000. He has on both sides. He has been hot. Tyler Stevenson, 39 and 2,000, has been hot as well. I don't trust Milwaukee bats, even though this is a good lineup against Hoffman. Maybe if you want to go with Garcia, like you've talked about before, Urias is a cheap option as well, but not a lot to love as far as the pitching goes. So I like a little bit of a red stack.
Yeah, I love Winker. Suarez is heating up big time, so he's a sneaky nice. Castellanos, they're all expensive, so yeah, get your value in there. I know I say in Milwaukee a lot, but mainly it's because of their price tag, and they're not like the 3 teams that get no hits. They actually do stuff once in a while. So like Vogelbach's really, really cheap. Travis Shaw's really, really cheap. You want lefties versus Hoffman, especially in that ballpark. So if you're going to get aggressive, I wouldn't say, full stack it if you don't want to, but if you need like a one-off in tournaments and stuff, Vogelbach's been really good. I like Wong, but he's a little more pricey than I'd like. So look for the value pieces. Avisel Garcia, look for the value in Milwaukee and kind of exploit that. New York Mets at the Miami Marlins, Stroman, Pablo Lopez. And we don't have a total on this one either, which is very, very surprising to me. I think it's because they moved Pablo Lopez back a day. But we have Stroman, or maybe they moved Stroman. That could be what it is. He's 9,100 on DK, not priced on FanDuel. Lopez 6K on DK, not priced on FanDuel. This is interesting because I kind of like both pitchers here, but I really like Lopez at 6K as an SP2.
He hasn't had a quality start since April. Lopez, high in his last 4 starts as far as strikeouts go is 6. So it's been 6 and under in his last 4. So I'm not really interested in either side of the pitching here. And there's not a ton to like as far as I'm concerned with the hitting. There's a little bit. I mean, Jazz Chisholm is hitting. Brian Anderson starting to come around, 2,600 on both. Miguel Rojas just keeps hitting, and he's super cheap, especially on FanDuel, 43 and 29. There's nothing hot as far as the Mets bats go. John VR has been nice.
That's the one hot one. I've been playing him for cheap. That's the one I'd say.
Yeah, 35 and 27. Thomas Nido, when he gets in there, 3,021. But other than that, there's not a lot to like in that game either.
Okay, what if I told you this? Because it looks like DK has changed things. I just pulled up the MLB app. It looks like we now have Jordan Holloway starting for the Marlins. That could be why we have no total. He's 6K. Okay. He's been a little better, but he doesn't go deep into games at all. Does that make you like? I can't trust him for pitching wise. He hasn't gone more than 3 2/3 innings. He hasn't thrown over. He threw 74 pitches his last time out.
Makes me like VR a little bit more.
I was just about to say it makes VR much more attractive. I'm not saying stack the Mets because they're still not great, but it brings a cheap VR into the equation.
Sure. I can get down on some cheap VR.
So. Yeah, see, this is like, it feels like we're the NBA. There's this happened way too much already this year. Pitching changes. Like we did Merrill Kelly for 3 nights in a row, for Christ's sake. Like these guys are just constantly changing things.
And he wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was about to say either. You nailed it, Boggs. You really did. Like you could have done Dane Dunning in the morning and Kelly in the evening and been like easy street. But so that's why sometimes taking gambles is fun. Minnesota at the Cleveland Indians. Kenta Maeda against Tristan McKenzie. This is an intriguing one. We don't have we have no totals on all these games. It's unbelievable. We saw like 10 totals, but not the ones I want. But Maeda is 76 on DK, 67 on FanDuel, McKenzie 78, 64 respectively. I don't trust either pitcher, Bogman. Nah. The Indians' bats are so bad, but Maeda's been horrific. It could be a nice little mini stack situation here. Yeah,
I mean, I tell you who you want is Sano, right? Sano, he had 3 homers the other night. He hit 1 tonight. He's not crazy expensive either. 43 and 29 is good prices for him on both sides. Larnach has been hitting for some average too, 26 and 2,000.
He went deep on Thursday also.
So there you go. And then on the Tribe side, Jose Ramirez is expensive but worth it, especially against Maeda, who has 1 quality start in 8 starts. And look, McKenzie has been okay. They just don't let him go deep. I think 5 innings or 5 1/3 is his most innings pitched in a game so far this year. Josh Naylor's been hitting again a little bit, 37-24, and Cesar Hernandez is starting to pick it up. So there are some bats to buy. I'm just not crazy confident in pretty much anybody.
Yeah, these aren't offenses that like blow you off the map regularly this year. But with Maeda, if you guys like dig into his numbers, his hard hit rate's through the roof. His barrel rate's through the roof. He's given up more home runs, almost 2 home runs per 9 right now. His ground ball rate's down. Like everything is trending in the wrong direction for him. He shows signs of life from time to time, and then he gets bombed again. I think Ramirez, Naylor, Hernandez, you mentioned them. See what else pops out in the lineup because it's very affordable. Go full game stack if you want. It is a 15-game slate, so you don't have to go crazy. You could cherry pick it, but like just Naylor as a value alone, I like a ton in his format. So you can mix and match and do those kind of things and on a 15-game slate and still be quite successful. Pittsburgh at the Atlanta Braves. Tyler Anderson versus Ian Anderson. The battle of the Andersons. One's lefties, one righty though, so that's good. Over under is 8 in this one. Tyler Anderson's been pitching sneaky interesting lately. $7,300 and DK 79 on FanDuel. Ian Anderson's 10.5 on DK, 88 on FanDuel. I love that $8,800 for Anderson on FanDuel. 10.5 bad if you want a little different. I love the FanDuel price. And then on the flip side, Tyler Anderson as an SP2 at a tournament, the Atlanta bats have been pretty bad. So I'm interested in that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm with you. Ian Anderson is a great start today. 4 out of his last 5 have been quality. Hasn't given up more than 4 in any start this year. So, you're not looking at a blow up from him, most likely, especially against the Pirates. So I like what you're saying. There's a little PVB data here, not a ton. Ozzie Albies is 2 for 3 against Tyler Anderson with 2 homers. So both of his hits have been bombs against him. Freeman's 2 for 5 with a triple and a homer. So both of his hits have gone for extras. Marcelo Zuna is 3 for 7 against him. So hitting 429. And then Austin Riley's been hot. There's been some decent bats on the Pittsburgh side though. You brought up Polanco and he's hit this week, 2,700 a piece. Frazier, Stallings, and Reynolds have also been hitting a little bit. So, but I like Ian Anderson as one of my favorite pitchers on this slate. And I think I'm with you as far as Tyler Anderson goes. I'm just not interested in him because of the track record that some of these Braves hitters have against him. So I like Ian Anderson, and I like potentially a mini stack. They are expensive of Albies, Freeman, and Ozuna.
Yeah, it's just like it's one of those. Do you spend an expensive stack on these guys, or do you pick a different game? That's the question people have to make. And on a 15-game slate, you just plant your flag because we've seen how crazy baseball can be. And I wouldn't even be shocked if the Pirates went off. Like it's that. Like this is one of those games where I almost feel more confident in the Pirates than like the Brewers type thing. It's really weird in this situation. So and plus the Braves bullpen is not very good. So I like this one. I like both pitchers a little more so I'll probably avoid the bats in this one. But it's a weird game. It's one of those kind of 4 true outcome games where I can see a lot of scenarios play out in this one, and I would not be shocked at all. Tampa Bay at Toronto. We go back to Coors South. We got 2 Coors games on the slate, which is always fun, always good stuff here. But Tampa Bay at Toronto in this one, we have Glasnow taking the bump, an ace in Dunedin. He's 11-2 on DK, 11,000 on FanDuel against the lefty K at 5,900 on DK, waiting on that good old FanDuel price. Tampa Bay's bats are waking up, and it's weird because going into Baltimore, which wakes a lot of bats up, Tampa Bay was dreadful versus lefties, like horrific versus left-handed pitching. Well, they hit everybody this week, and it's going to be hard not to buy back into them against K.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stack for this. And, Glasnow has had 10 strikeouts in 3 of his last 4 starts. You got to pay through the nose for him, but it's worth it. He's probably the best pitcher in this slate here. And yeah, I mean, the bats in Tampa Bay have been white hot, as you mentioned. Rosarena, Austin Meadows, your boy Choi has been coming through recently. Joey Wendell hit 2 bombs on Thursday. Yandy Diaz is in here. Willie Adames, Manny Margot. All these guys have been hitting. So I'm a stack against Toronto in this, however you want to line it up. Pick out of those guys. However you want to line it up, do it. I mean, Toronto's had some hot bats, but they're the main suspects that are all expensive. Yeah. Simeon, 56-34. Vlad, 57-37. Bo Bichette, 57-35. So I'm more of a Tampa Bay guy here, and I'm not going to play those expensive hitters against Glasnow.
Yeah, I like the idea of using Glasnow for 2 reasons. He's so expensive. I think his ownership will be kind of low because it's in Toronto and his price tag with people wanting Coors and everything
and it's
else.
a big slate. There's other options. So
yeah, so I think that'll lower it. Which you mentioned the strike, like even though the Jays can hit, they strike out a lot too. So there's a lot to like there with Glasnow. But I love the race side of it. The one thing I'll say is keep an eye on the news. Like it could be K, it could be a lot of different people. So I wouldn't be shocked if that one flips. I still like I almost want it to be right-handed guy because it'll make me like some of the Rays even more. But if the lefty stays on the mound, you get some serious value with Diaz, Adames, and Marco, like you mentioned. So big fan of the Rays tonight. Let's see who ends up pitching for Toronto, but definitely can get on board that one. We got Houston at Texas on this one. We have Ivy making his MLB debut at $4,800 on DK, no price on FanDuel, against Kyle Gibson at only $7,100 on DK and $81 on FanDuel. I think I'm missing something here, Bogman, but two things. Ivy at 48 is intriguing versus a bad Texas offense. But Gibson at 71, I know it's Houston, but I think he deserves more than that.
Yeah, man. 8 quality starts in a row. So low strikeouts, but great upside. I think the problem here is some of these Houston hitters' track record against him is working against him here. Bregman 6 for 15 with 2 doubles and a bomb, 10 for 33 for Michael Brantley. Lots of at-bats, and he's a 300 hitter against him with a double and a homer. 8 for 26 for Altuve, 3 for 10 for Tucker, and some of these bats have been really hot. I mean, like you said, Ivy's an interesting start because they've been struggling. There's only one guy, I think, in the top 100 hitters as far as, standard 5x5 fantasy goes over the last week. It's Adolis Garcia is at 35 and 34. But I mentioned the track record of Bregman, Brantley, Altuve, and Tucker. Correa, Gurriel, Straw, Maldonado have all been hitting as well. So I think that's why Gibson is priced so cheap and probably why I wouldn't take him in this slate. Once again, if it was a different slate with, if it was tonight's slate, the Thursday night slate, I would have loved Gibson here, but I don't think I'll do it on this one.
Yeah, he's on my SP2 list for sure because there's, especially on DK, there's so many guys over 9K. It's like Martin Perez is $9,400, but you're going to tell me Kyle Gibson's $7,100? That just doesn't jive with me.
Would you rather play Gibson or Ivy if you had to pick one?
I want to play Gibson just because I don't know how long Ivy goes.
Yeah, me too. But I think
if you told me I can get at least 5, if you can give me at least 5 innings, I'd probably take Ivy.
Yeah, I think he's only thrown 6 in the minors though. So yeah, I think I'm with you on Gibson, but Ivy, like you said, is intriguing. So
very intriguing because that offense is dreadful.
Just got no hit.
Yeah, twice. Let's go to Kansas City to Detroit Tigers against the Kansas City Royals. Jose Urania, Mike Minor in this one. And sorry, that Texas-Houston game, we have a total of 8.5. We actually had that one. But Detroit, Kansas City, Urania, Minor, over under 8.5 on this one. Detroit versus lefties has been a thing. They actually are kind of slowly hitting better versus lefties, I'll say that much. And Mike Minor doesn't scare me. Urania 64 and 68, Minor 75 and 76. You only need the pitching or it's all bats for you.
I kind of like Minor. Last time out was his first quality start of the season. And this is a decent matchup against Detroit, but once again, another team with good PVB data against him. Taylor 4 for 11 with a double and a homer. Carlos Santana 4 for 13 with a homer. Candelario 5 for 10 with 2 doubles and a homer. Robbie Grossman 2 for 6 with a bomb. 7 for 16 for Wilson Ramos with a homer. So they have hit Minor. So even though he had a good start last time out, and this looks like a nice matchup, I don't think I'm going to mess with it. No one's really hitting for Kansas City either. Salvador Perez is like the one hot hitter there, but Harold Castro, I just picked him up in AL only. He's been hitting a little, 31 and 21. And Eric Haas at catcher has been hitting too, 31 and 26 is decent as well. So there's some decent bats for Detroit here, but Urania's turned into a pumpkin. He had like 3 quality starts in a row or 4 quality starts in a row, and then the last 2 times he got beat up. So I'm done with him.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. It makes me want to get some Kansas City bats, but I'm just going to pass on this game as a whole. Unless something changes when we see lineups come out and everything, there's too much to like on a 15 game or two. Get in love with Detroit and Kansas City at this point in time for me. The next game on the slate, Chicago at St. Louis. Kyle Hendricks versus Carlos Martinez. Over under of 8 in this one. We have Hendricks is at 74 and 75 respectively. C-Mart at 69 and 7,000. I don't mind Hendricks. We saw him come out through Dandy his last time out. The Cardinals bats are feeling it, but I don't mind Hendricks as an SP2.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll just let me curb a little bit because Hendricks did have a great game last time out, but it was against Detroit. So
True. Valid point.
And there's some nice PVB data against him. Not a ton, but 3 guys kind of got his goat here. Goldie 10 for 29 with 6 doubles. So I could easily see one of those turn into a bomb. Arenado 7 for 25 with 2 homers, 4 for 13 for Bader with a double. And there's some guys hitting in this lineup. Edman, Molina, Carlson have all been hitting over the last week. On the other side, I mean, Carlos Martinez looked horrific. So, and I think his K per 9 right now is under 5. It's like 4.7 something.
It's not good.
It's terrible. Ian Happ has been white hot, and he's 5 for 16 in his career against Martinez with a triple and 2 homers. So 31 and 3,000, I'll have Ian Happ probably in every lineup. Wilson Contreras 7 for 18 with a homer against him as well. And then there's some hot bats on the Chicago side. Bryant, Duffy, Baez, and Horner have all been hitting this week as well. So I think Happ is probably my favorite buy in this game. Hendricks is a maybe for me.
Yeah, I've been targeting C-Mart a lot this year, so I like the Cubs, and I love the Ian Happ call. I'm glad you mentioned him with such vindication because I think that price tag is ridiculous. He is just hitting home run after home run. He double-donged on Thursday. I think he's hit 3 or 4 home runs since he came back from the IL. I love him. He's in like 4th or 5th too. The other guy I'll mention is Jock Peterson. 2 more hits on Thursday. He's very affordable. He's been leading off for the Cubs. You can mix in the Baez's and company. It's not a super expensive stack, but it could be a very, very good stack against Carlos Martinez. So I like that one quite a bit. All right, Arizona at Colorado. Coors Field special on this one. We got Frankoff making his Arizona start against German Marquez. Frankoff's 46. Marquez is 57 on DK, 73 on FanDuel. I always debate using Marquez and Coors at 57 because it's stupid cheap. It pays off sometimes. It doesn't. So I don't hate it as an SP2 if you want it. But
yeah,
I respect the Arizona bats too.
He's been better at home. Marquez has this year, and his last start against Arizona was quality. So I kind of feel like he's like the ultimate contrarian play today. So there is some good PVB data against him, though. Eduardo Escobar, who's hot, went yard on Thursday, 11 for 20, 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer, all off Marquez. David Peralta is 15 for 41 with 5 doubles and 2 homers. That's 366. Marte doesn't hit a ton off of him, only for a 241 average, but has strung together some extra base hits, double, triple, and a homer, and he's back in the lineup. Still probably too expensive, though, at 53 and 4,100. But you could probably stack Colorado bats against Frankoff in the D-backs bullpen because Fuentes is cheap, 32. Daza is still cheap at 27 and 25. McMahon, Blackman, and Hampson have all been hitting too. So I kind of like the Rockies as a mini stack against the D-backs.
Yeah, it's hard not to. We talked about the wind blowing out. I think Marquez is intriguing. If you're not going Marquez, I got no problem. Like you said, Marte is back. Escobar, Peralta, they're pricey. They're pricier than the Colorado options, which is so funny. So funny. So yeah, Colorado's in play and should be extremely popular in this one. All right, Oakland at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. James Caprillion versus Jose Quintana. Over under of 9 on this one. Caprillion is 6,100 on DK, no price on FanDuel. And we're still waiting on Quintana's prices on both sites as they drag behind on that fun stuff. But out the gate, I will say Caprillion as an SP2 at $6,100 is fully on board for me.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't have like a great argument for it or against it, so I'm okay with it. I just don't think I'm going to have him in many spots.
Yeah, the Angels, like without Trout and company, is just such a depleted offense. I'll take my chances there. What bats you liking in this one?
I mean, there's a little PVB data against Quintana since he's been around since what feels like 1986. Kemp 4 for 10 with a triple against him. Piscotty 4 for 12 with a double and a homer. 4 for 12 for Laureano as well. But Canna's been hot. He went yard on Thursday, 41 and 3,000. Murphy's been hot too, 39 and 27. But Phil Gosselin keeps getting in the lineup, Bub, and he's 34 and 2,000 on FanDuel. So if he's in the lineup again, I like him. Jared Walsh and Ohtani you can pay up for as well, as they've both been hitting.
Yeah, you can definitely attack Caprillion. Not going against that. And if you do, you start with Ohtani and Walsh for sure. But Taylor, not Taylor. Why did I just totally blank on their outfielder? It took Trout spot. But yeah, he's playing quite well. As also he went deep. No, it's starts with a T. Okay. Never mind. We're just going to pass on that one. But he's been playing very well, even went deep on Thursday. I could just do the lazy way. We'll do this real quick. Great radio, everybody. Just give me a second here. I can't leave without doing it now. It's Taylor Ward. I knew it was a T. It's
Taylor Ward.
Name.
Okay.
Yeah, Taylor Ward went deep on Thursday. So keep an eye on him as he's been quite productive from time to time. 2 more games to go on this 15-game slate. Dodgers at Giants. Trevor Bauer versus Alex Wood. Pitchers duel here. Over under a 7. Bauer's 11.9 on DK, 11.8 on FanDuel. Wood 10,000 on DK, 91 on FanDuel. I could see using both pitchers. I could see just fading this game completely.
I mean, yeah, I'm good for either pitcher. Probably I want to just pay a little bit more and pay for Bauer. 6 of his 7 starts have been quality. 4 of his last 5 for Wood have been quality. So I think if I'm going to pay up, I'm just going to go ahead and pay up for Bauer in this game. So, but I like both sides of the pitching here.
Yeah, I'll take both sides of the pitching. No bats for me. What about you?
Yeah, no bats for me either because the pitching looks so good.
Yeah, if it goes off, it goes off. I'll live with that one. Last game of the evening, Seattle Mariners at the San Diego Padres. Chris Flexen, Chris Paddock, over under 7.5. Take the over in this one, folks. Well, maybe not. Seattle's bats suck. But Flexen 66 on DK, 62 on FanDuel. Paddock 86 and 63. I don't like either pitcher in this game.
I like Paddock, and look,
it doesn't go far enough.
I know no quality starts this year. I think 5 1/3 is his most, but Seattle is miserable. If there is a slump buster on this schedule, it is Seattle.
Mark Grace's favorite team.
I like Paddock as an SP2 today. I'm not rolling it out with a ton of confidence, right? But I think I would take Paddock over like Marquez and Hendricks, and I would take Rodon over him, even though Rodon's expensive. But I kind of like Paddock as an SP2 option. So I'm not using him in FanDuel, but maybe in DK.
Okay. I do like some of the bats against Flexen. Like Cronenworth's still way too cheap. Grisham, I think, is too cheap for what he's doing. There's some value with San Diego, but as a whole, it's like their offense has been pretty slumpy as well.
Profar's hitting a little bit too, and he's cheap at 28 and 23. Should he be in the lineup?
Yeah, so lots to like on a 15-game slate. There's no doubt about that. Make sure you go download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. You'll be in the chat there. They'll talk about that. They'll show you the values, the stack tools, all the good stuff. Make sure you give the podcast a rate and review on iTunes. We'd much appreciate it. Or check it out on YouTube at the LineStar YouTube channel. But what you're waiting for, go to LineStar and follow them on Twitter at LineStar app, at LineStar MLB, and play the home run call today. Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys will pick a home run call. You guys retweet it, and 3 lucky retweeters will get chosen to join us. And if one of our home runs go deep, like Bogman's JD Martinez on Thursday, or Humphreys 3 before that, and mine the day after don't count, all that kind of stuff, you'll win some free swag. So Bogman, on Friday, May 21st, who's your home run call of the day?
So hard for me to not take Bogarts just to upset you, but
yeah, it's a smart move.
I'm going to take Randy Arozarena against Anthony K.
Yeah,
I think he's been hot. We saw what he did in the playoffs when he's hot. So give me Arozarena to go yard.
We want to talk hot. I got hot for you. Give me Ian Happ taking Carlos Martinez deep. He stays red hot in the Lou in St. Louis. So give me Ian Happ. You got Randy Arozarena. Ryan Humphreys will have another banger as well. So go check out all that good stuff. Bogman, you have a great weekend. I'll try to have a great weekend too. We'll be back with these lovely people on Monday. But for now, everybody, good luck and enjoy your weekend.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar App On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.